everyone, I hope you all are doing well by God's grace. Today we are going to start your next short story, which is Bholi. Bholi is written by Khwaja Ahmed Abbas, who is also popularly known as K.A. Abbas. I hope you all have read this chapter by now, like I'd asked you to, and if you have, then you will know that this chapter can be related to the very famous slogan Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. This is a very beautiful story about the transformation of Bholi, who is a very timid girl, and how towards the end of the chapter she comes out to be a very courageous girl. So let's start. Bholi's actual name was Sulekha, but she had been nicknamed Bholi by everyone around her. Bholi, as we know, means a very simple person who is not cunning or very smart. Now, Bholi was the fourth daughter of Nambardar Ramlal. He had altogether 7 children, and Bholi was the youngest one. When Bholi was 10 months old, she fell off the cot and hit her head. Because of the head injury, some part of her brain got damaged, and that made her a backward child or a retarded child. She was slow in learning. She was a very pretty and a fair child when she was born, like the other brothers and sisters. But when she was 2 years old, she had an attack of smallpox. Because of that, her entire body was disfigured because she had big black marks all over her body except for her eyes, and because of that she remained no longer beautiful. She learned talking, but by the age of 5, which was very late. And even though she learned talking, but she could not speak clearly. She used to stammer, haklana. Because of this, the other people and the children especially used to mimic her, copy karna, and make fun of her. So in order to avoid being made fun of, Bholi stopped talking. She would not talk at all. She used to speak very less to avoid being made fun of. So as you can see, she didn't have a very pleasant childhood. And remember, at 10 months old, she fell off the cot, and at 2 years of age, she had the attack of smallpox. This is very important, so remember this. Like I mentioned before, Ramlal had 7 children in total. He had altogether 4 daughters and 3 sons, and Bholi was the youngest of them. The 3 sons, they were sent to the city to study in school and later in college. And of the 4 daughters, the eldest one, who was Radha, was already married. Second daughter Mangla's marriage was fixed, and after she was married off, then Ramlal would consider getting a groom for third daughter. They were all sorted, all except Bholi. Ramlal was very worried about the marriage of his youngest daughter Bholi because she was neither healthy nor good looking, and on top of it she was slow, she was retarded, she was a backward child. Ramlal, he was a very prosperous farmer. He had plenty to eat and drink at his place. He had 7 children, all healthy, except for Bholi, of course. But other children, they were healthy and good looking. He was also a Nambardar, which is a village official. So he was successful and prosperous, but his only issue was his youngest daughter Bholi. Bholi was 7 years old when the second daughter of Ramlal, Mangla, she got married. In the same year, a primary school was opened in the village. The Tehsildar Sahab, he came to inaugurate the school to perform the opening ceremony, and that is the time when he talked to Ramlal and he told that you should send your daughters to school. If you noted, when I talked about his family earlier, I told that the 3 sons, they were sent to city to study and further study in college as well, but not the daughters. None of the daughters were educated, because generally in village it is not a very common practice to send girls to school. So the Tehsildar told Ramlal that being a government official, you are the revenue officer of the village, you should set an example for the other villagers by sending your own daughters to school, because you are the representative of the government in the village, and if you send your daughters to school, then others will also follow your example, so you must set an example. That night when Ramlal came home, he consulted his wife on this. He discussed this matter with his wife. Her reaction was that, are you crazy? If we send girls to school, who will marry them? Because in villages, people don't send their girls to school because they think if they send the girls to school, they will become very sharp and very uncontrollable, and so no one will marry a girl who has been to school. They'll say कि बड़ी तेज है ये. So they don't want such girls. They want docile girls, very simple girls, जो सिर्फ घर का काम करे. So people don't like to send their girls to school. So the wife exclaimed, no, we cannot send our girls to school because in that case no one will marry our daughters. But then Ramlal did not have the courage to disobey the Tehsildar. So he was a little worried, and then finally his wife came up with an idea. We can send Bholi to school. There is already no chance of her getting married because of her backwardness and her ugliness. She's not pretty. So there's no chance of her getting married. It is better that we can kill two birds with one stone. We can send her to school. By this, the Tehsildar's order will be fulfilled, and also when she is in school, she will be no longer our headache. The teachers will take care of her. So she'll be in school and be the responsibility of the teachers. Ramlal liked this idea. The very next day, he caught hold of Bholi's hand and told her, come, let's go to school. Bholi was a small child. She had no idea of what a school was. Now the little girl was obviously very scared. She remembered that a few days ago their old cow was taken out of the house and sold. So she thought that something similar was going to happen with her. She was terrorized and she was like, no, 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 I don't want to go. And she tried to pull away her hand from the father's grip. The father got upset with her. He was like, fool. That is how they used to refer to her generally. Fool, I'm only taking you to school. You have to get ready, or else what the other students, the villagers and the teachers will think about us. So she got scolding on the first day of her school. And then she was for the first time given clean clothes to wear. Otherwise, her clothes were never mended. No one took care of her. She always wore tattered or old clothes. But for a change, she got a clean dress which belonged to her elder sister Champa, and it no longer fit Champa. So now today Bholi got to wear that clean dress. She was also given a bath, and then her dry hair, which was not in a very good condition, it was oiled and she was made presentable. So now when she got this sort of a special treatment, she was bathed and cleaned and made tidy. So finally she thought that school might be a good place, as she was finally getting some good treatment to go there. When Ramlal took Bholi to school, obviously remember your own first day at school, it is very scary. He handed over Bholi to the headmistress, and Bholi did enter the school, but she was having fear-laden eyes. Her eyes were filled with fear. She was very scared of what this new place was. When she looked around, there were several classrooms, there were students, they were sitting on mats, they were squatting on mats, and they had their slates and their books, and they were all studying. So the headmistress finally took Bholi to a class and made her sit in a corner. So this was her first experience. Bholi had no idea about what a school was, but being a small girl, she was quite happy to see so many girls of her age in the same place, and she was hoping that one of these girls might become her friend. The teacher in the class was saying something to the girls, but Bholi didn't pay attention and she could not understand anything. But it was a new experience for her, so she was looking around in the class. And as you know that in junior classes there are many pictures on the walls, so she was also very excited and the colors fascinated her. She was attracted by the colorful pictures and she could relate that yes, that horse is brown like the horse on which the Tehsildar came. The goat was black like her neighbor's goat, and then the parrot was green like the parrots she had seen in her village mango orchard. Then she noticed the cow. It was same as their cow, Lakshmi. And while she was engrossed in all this, suddenly she realized that the teacher was standing next to her, and when she looked at the teacher smiled at Bholi. Now the teacher asked Bholi a question. She asked her, "What is your name, little one?" Obviously on the first day of our school we are asked her names. Bholi started to reply, but like we know, she stammered, and when she tried to reply, all that came out was bh bh bho. She could not speak any further. She got embarrassed, so tears started flowing in a helpless flood. She could not control her tears, and she kept her head down, and she did not dare to put her head up throughout the day because she was embarrassed and scared that the other girls were laughing at her and making fun of her stammering. Now finally the last bell rang and the school got over. All the little girls, they scurried out of the classrooms. In case you have seen a mouse or a squirrel, they scurry. That movement, the way they run, that is known as scurrying. But Bholi, she was so embarrassed, she was still sobbing and sitting in that corner with her head bent. Bholi, this is how her teacher called her name. It was a very soft and a soothing voice. Bholi was never called with such love and care ever in her life. So this touched her heart. This was the first time that someone called her name in such a nice way. In case you noticed, the teacher asked her name initially and Bholi did not tell her name. This means that the teacher already knew her name. She was only wanting Bholi to speak. So the teacher told Bholi to get up. It was not a command but a very friendly suggestion. Bholi quickly got up. Then the teacher asked her again, "Tell me your name." Now Bholi started getting sweat all over her body because it was a very difficult task for her. She was embarrassed and she was thinking that she won't be able to speak her name clearly. Again, she would stammer, and she was thinking that her stammering tongue would disgrace her again, would embarrass her again. But still, because the teacher was talking to her in a very nice way, so she thought that for this kind lady, I will give it a try. I will put in my effort to speak my name because she has such a soothing voice. She will not make fun of me. Now Bholi stammered saying her name. She was like, "Bho, Bho." And the teacher started encouraging her that, "Very good, well done, now speak the complete name, Bholi." Finally Bholi was able to speak her complete name, and she felt like this was a very big achievement for her. She felt very relieved, and then the teacher applauded Bholi. The teacher patted Bholi very affectionately, very lovingly, and told her that she advised her rather that put the fear out of your heart and one day you will be able to speak clearly like others. She motivated Bholi, and Bholi looked up at her as if asking, "Really?" Because speaking clearly was something she could never even imagine doing. In fact, it was the first time someone was telling her something so positive. So the teacher understood Bholi's gesture and she answered, "Yes, it will be very easy. You just have to come to school every day. Will you come?" And Bholi, because she was not habitual of talking much, she nodded. But then the teacher checked her again and told, "Speak it out loud." Yes. Bholi was herself very surprised that she was able to speak it so quickly. And then the teacher told her, she knew that Bholi was surprised on being able to speak so quickly. And the teacher was like, "Didn't I tell you? Now take this book." She gave her a book which was a very colorful book. And this book had lots of pictures of goat, of horse and a cow just like Lakshmi. This Bholi was obsessed with Lakshmi. And there were also some big black letters written along with the pictures. Then the teacher told her, "Take this book. In a month you will be able to read this book and then I'll give you a bigger book. Later when you are able to finish that book, I will give you another bigger one. And then a time will come that you will be the most learned person in the entire village. People will talk to you with respect and you will also be able to speak clearly. No one will laugh at you. In fact, you will be respected in the entire village. So take this book, go home and come back tomorrow early morning." On listening such good words and positive words from her teacher, Bholi started imagining a very filmy scene. She could imagine big bells of the temples in the village ringing, and she could imagine that all these trees in front of the school, they were suddenly blossoming with big red flowers, and her heart was throbbing with a new hope and a new life. Finally, she had some hope in her life. After a few years, the village, it became a small town. It became developed. And how the development is shown, the little primary school had now become a high school. There was a cinema under a tin shed, and they also had a cotton ginning mill. Even the mail train had started stopping at their railway station. So the village had developed into a town in these few years. One night after dinner, Ramlal, he was discussing with his wife, and he asked her if he should accept Bishambar's proposal, marriage proposal. The mother's response was, yes, certainly. Bholi will be lucky to get such a well-to-do bridegroom. Well-to-do means someone who is financially well off and successful. She further mentioned that the bridegroom, he was having a big shop, a big house of his own, and he was having several thousands in the bank, and moreover he was not asking for dowry. The father said, yes, that is true, but then he is not quite young. He is in fact of the same age as me, and he also limps, means he had a physical disability. And the children from his first marriage, this was going to be second marriage with Bholi, the children from his first marriage are quite grown up. They were planning to get Bholi married to a man of her father's age. But what was the mother's response? She said, so what? How does that matter? 45 or 50 is no great age for a man. This is the thinking that Bholi's mother had. She added that they were lucky to get such a match because he was from another village and he had not seen Bholi, and he did not know about her pockmarks and her lack of sense. So if they missed this opportunity of getting Bholi married, then Bholi would remain unmarried all her life. The father was not very sure. He was like, yes, I know, but I wonder what Bholi will say, if she will agree to get married or not. The mother said, what will the witless one say? She is like a dumb cow. This is how the mother was talking about her own daughter. Witless one means someone who has no sense, and dumb cow is a very stupid person. Finally, because the wife was so convincing, so Ramlal gave in. He was like, I think you are right. They were in the courtyard, and on the other corner of the courtyard, Bholi was awake. She was able to listen to the entire whispered conversation of her parents about her future. But she did not object or say anything regarding this matter. Courtyard is your ghar ka beda or the angan. So they were sleeping in the courtyard, which is a very common practice in villages. Now imagine a full-fledged Bharat ka scene. Bishambar Nath, he was a well-to-do grocer, so he was quite rich, and he came with a very grand Bharat, and he was on the horse. There were so many of his friends and his relatives. Then a very famous tune was being played by a brass band which was walking in front of the Bharat procession, and all the friends and relatives of Bishambar Nath were like dancing. Ramlal was very happy to see such a grand procession. He had never imagined that his daughter, his fourth daughter, will get married. But now she was getting married with such pomp and show and such splendor. And the other elder three sisters of Bholi, they had also come for the marriage, and they were feeling jealous of Bholi, of her luck, that how come she is having such a grand marriage. When the auspicious moment came, the priest said, bring the bride. Auspicious moment means Shubh Muhurat hota hai jo. Yeah, so that when that time came, so he told others to call the bride for the marriage. Bholi was clad in a red silk sari. Clad means she was wearing. So Bholi was led to her place, the bride's place, near the sacred fire. Sacred fire means the fire in the mandap, and sacred means holy. So before the fere, the Varmala takes place. So the bridegroom's friends, they prompted him and told him, garland the bride, haar pehnao. The bridegroom, he lifted his varmala of yellow marigolds. Yellow marigold is your gende ka phool. Bholi was having that ghungat on her head, but for the varmala, a woman who was standing there, she pulled the veil back from the bride's face. Bishambar took a quick glance. He was able to see Bholi's face, and the garland, the varmala, it remained poised in his hands, means he was kind of in a statue position. Bholi, she slowly pulled down her veil back to cover her face. Now Bishambar whispered to the friend next to him. He said, "Have you seen her? She has pockmarks on her face. Big, big black marks." But his friend responded, "So what? You're not young either." Which also can be translated into beggars can't be choosers. मतलब एक तो 50 एज पे you are going to get married and then you have issue with the bride not being very beautiful. Bishambar responded, maybe means maybe I'm not young. But then her father must pay me 5,000 rupees if he wants her to get married. He demanded for a dowry. Now a typical old Hindi movie scene. The father, he takes his honor, which is a turban, and keeps it on the feet of the bridegroom and says, "Do not humiliate us. Please take 2,000 rupees." But Bishambar was adamant, "No, 5,000, give me 5,000 or else we go back, keep your daughter." Now Bholi's father kept begging. He said, "Please be a little considerate. If you go back, I will not be able to show my face in the village." Bishambar still stayed adamant. He was like, "Then out with 5,000 rupees. Ramlal, he was crying. Tears were streaming down his face because this was a very humiliating scene in front of the entire village. All the people had come for the marriage. And then he went, while crying, he opened his safe, he counted the notes, and then he took out 5,000 rupees and went and placed the bundle of money on the feet of the bridegroom. On Bishambar's greedy face, a triumphant smile appeared. Triumphant means victorious smile. Greedy why? Because obviously he was greedy, he was demanding dowry. He had gambled and won. He had gambled. उसने जुआ खेला कि I will demand money. Who knows, I might get the girl and the money. Father should have been adamant that no, I will not pay dowry. Bishambar would have married, still married. But he took a chance and that made him get 5,000 rupees dowry. So now he was very happy and now he was ready to marry Bholi for money. Now again the whole Varmala scene was repeated. Again the veil, the ghungat of the bride was pulled back. But now there was a difference. Now Bholi was no longer looking downcast. She was not looking down, but she was staring. She was looking straight in the face of her prospective bridegroom. Prospective means would be, right? She was staring at him. There was neither hate in her eyes. She was not looking at him with hatred, neither with anger, but she was looking at him with contempt. Now, contempt means open dislike for someone who is not worthy of respect. Now, Bishambar, he raised his hands to put the garland in his bride's neck. But before he could put the garland, Bholi's hand struck out like a streak of lightning, which means very quick. And the garland, it was flung into the fire. Next, she got up from her place and then she threw away her veil. Apna ghungat फेंक दिया. Pitaji. She could speak in a clear voice. Now her father, her mother, her sisters, her brothers, the neighbors, the relatives, everyone was startled. Startled means shocked, surprised to hear Bholi speak in a clear voice without any stammering. This was a surprise for them. It shows that she didn't speak to any of them and they had no idea that she could speak clearly. Pitaji, take back your money. I'm not going to marry this man. Ramlal was thunderstruck. First of all, he was surprised that his daughter could speak clearly. And secondly, he was surprised that his timid daughter could speak so courageously and she was rejecting the bridegroom. The other guests of the marriage, they started whispering among themselves. So shameless, so ugly and so shameless. They started talking bad about Bholi. So Ramlal shouted on Bholi because of this behavior. He was like, Bholi, are you crazy? Do you have no regard for your family? Do you want to disgrace your family? Have some regard for our izzat. But by now, Bholi was on a roll. She was like, for your izzat, I was ready to marry this lame old man. But I will not accept such a mean, greedy, and contemptible coward as my husband. By this, she meant that she was ready to overlook his physical disabilities. But a person who was mean, greedy, contemptible, and coward, this was something that Bholi would not accept in her husband. What a shameless girl. We all thought that she was a harmless dumb cow. Some old lady passed this remark, and Bholi, she turned violently towards the old lady and she said, yes, auntie, you are right. You all thought that I was a dumb driven cow, and that is why you wanted to hand me over to this heartless creature. But now the dumb cow and the stammering fool is speaking. Do you want to listen more? By now, Bishambarnath knew that the marriage was over. He started returning back with his relatives, with the entire Parat. The bandsmen, the bandwalas, they were confused. They didn't know what song to play. So whatever song they usually used to play during the end of a ceremony, they started playing that and leaving. So they left. And Ramlal stood rooted to his place with his head bowed low with the weight of grief and shame. The flames of the sacred fire slowly died down, and all the guests, everyone, they left. Finally, Ramlal approached Bholi and then he asked her, what about you, Bholi? No one will marry you now. What shall we do with you? Already, because of Bholi's appearance, there was very little chance of her getting married, and now because of the way she had behaved and broken off her marriage, there was no chance of her getting married in the future. So he was obviously worried about Bholi's future. And Sulekha said in a voice which was clear, calm and steady, means she was not at all worried. What she said? Don't worry, Pitaji. I will serve you and mother in your old age, and I will teach in the same school where I have learned so much. Am I right, madam? She asked her teacher who was standing there in the corner. The teacher had been there all the time. She was standing in a corner and she was watching all the drama which was happening during the marriage. The teacher smiled and said, yes, Bholi, of course. And in her smiling eyes was the light of deep satisfaction which an artist feels while contemplating the completion of his or her masterpiece. This means that Bholi was the masterpiece and the teacher was the artist. Truly, she was the artist because she had molded Bholi, the little girl who could not speak her name, into a young woman, Sulekha, who was bold, courageous. She could speak clearly. She was educated. She was having a future. Why? Because she could take up a job in the school. Now she had hope of a new life. Her future was bright. This is why I was talking in the beginning about that slogan which is used, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. If you educate the daughters, then they can fend for themselves. They have a future. Then you don't need to save them. I hope that the story is clear to you. In case you have any doubt or any query, do let me know. God bless you. Love your parents. Stay home and stay safe.